It is Thursday night, April 7th, 2022. That's right. It's Thursday night. It's not our usual Wednesday night, but you are listening to another brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast, streaming live on the Kicking Out Podcast Facebook page, Twitter page, and YouTube page. Click like, click subscribe, click follow if you haven't done that already. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review. And on Spotify, please give us a rating on there as well. Paul Zartman, how are you, sir?
It's been a interesting week of wrestling, and
oh yes,
man, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I know we say it every week, but it is more true this week than it has been in a while.
Yeah, this past week's probably what you can consider the Super Bowl week for professional wrestling. I mean, of course, with WrestleMania, whether you like WWE or not, WrestleMania is still the mecca of all wrestling pay-per-views, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, especially now it's a 2-night event. But that was interesting. ROH killed it with Supercard of Honor. A lot of good GCW shows. Dynamite was good last week. Rampage was good Friday. Dynamite was good last night, which we're going to cover here momentarily. So, a lot of exciting things going on in the world of wrestling. And I know we're going to recap Dynamite, but at the end of the show, I do want to get your thoughts on Mr. Cody Rhodes' return to World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We got some other things to cover first. So I see you. You got a the title. You're still carrying around the title around your shoulder there.
It's because I'm still the KOP predictions champion. What are you talking about?
For a couple more weeks. Enjoy it.
Yeah. So let's just both admit it here. This ain't going anywhere for a while.
Yeah, I don't think you're right there. So, I mean, if you're so confident, you could put on the line next Friday for Rampage.
Oh, for a Texas death match?
Could. If you're so confident, you could take one guy. You could have your pick, and I take the other.
Yeah, we'll see.
How about I give you till next week's episode to think about it?
All right, I'm gonna need it. All
right, fair enough. But that was one announcement coming out of last night's episode of Dynamite. But we got a lot of good things going on in the world of AEW. But anything else you wanted to cover before we dive right into it?
Well, you know what? Actually, I've about had it with this championship. I mean, you can just have it, dude. Seriously, like, you want this thing, you can have it. Okay. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with the KOP Predictions Championship that you provided to us, because I got this bad boy.
Big gold belt. It looks pretty nice on you there, Moose. I gotta say.
Yeah. See, even came with my name already on it.
I gotta say, it looks pretty nice because look, it's got my name on it too. So that's good because it's going right around my waist. Come like May. Double or nothing.
Nah. It's staying here. Get used to it.
Well, you might as well enjoy it now because you will never see it when pay-per-view time comes.
Yep. It's staying right here. The brand new KOP Predictions Championship belt. And let's just say, if you want a closer look at it, take a look at our social media page, because it's going up right now.
And that is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handles at Kicking Out Pod on all three of those. So
yeah, so go follow us if you don't yet.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, because I know some people are listening to our podcast and not watching it, so they're probably like, "I didn't get to see it." Well,
we
now
can't visualize this. What the heck are they talking about?
Yeah. Well, you can go see it by checking out our social media pages.
Yep, there you go.
So let's get into this show while I hold this pretty big gold belt on my shoulder.
Let's do it. Dynamite kicked off last night with a really fun match. Adam Cole versus Christian Cage. This was a match I never thought I was going to see about a year ago.
No.
If I did see it, I thought it would be in WWE. I thought maybe, Christian would come out of retirement and Adam Cole would still be in the company, but I'm glad I got to see it on Dynamite instead.
Yeah, it's where it needs to be.
was a back and forth match. The crowd, I'd say, was more for Adam Cole than they were Christian, but Christian was getting some chance in there. But Cole definitely got the pop to begin the show. Everybody loves
Cole
the boom.
always gets that pop.
Everybody loves the boom.
It's all about the boom, baby.
Back and forth match. Late in the match, Adam Cole was lining Christian up for the Panama Sunrise by standing on the middle of the rope, but Christian hit a hurricanrana, went for the cover, but Cole kicked out. Cole then drilled Christian with a super kick, looked for the Panama Sunrise yet again, but Christian ducked and caught Cole with another kick, or Cole hit him with another kick, but then he looked for the boom. Christian rolled him up. Cole kicked out at about 2.5. Christian hit a spear, went for the cover, but Cole kicked out once again. Christian looked for the impaler, but Cole stepped through the ropes, poked Christian in the eye behind the ref's back, and drilled Christian with the boom to get the 1, 2, 3. Earlier in the match, when he went to hit the boom, he still had the knee pad down, or had knee pad on. So I knew he wasn't going to hit it then, because that doesn't take a lot of effect. So you knew when he was pulling it down, he was going to hit it.
Yeah, that's it's kind of your clue that it's a false. Unfortunately, if the knee pad's still up, we're not seeing it.
Right. So, but good opening match for Dynamite, I thought, last night. After the match, saw Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish make their way down and attack Christian, but Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the tag team champs, Jurassic Express, made the save. Cole celebrated in the ring. Then out comes AEW World Heavyweight Champion Adam Hangman Page. Cole said he's not fighting Page unless Page puts the title on the line. Page snatches the mic right out of Cole's hand, smacks Cole in the face, and asks Cole if he actually wants a title match. Cole says yes. Page says he'll do it, and it'll serve as Cole's punishment. Page said if he's not mistaken, there's a live episode of Rampage coming up in Texas next week. He tells Cole that they'll fight next Friday in a Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. Page then tells Cole he has 1 week to get his affairs in order. Cole leaves. Page celebrates with the title. Then they cut to a video package highlighting the return of Samoa Joe at this past weekend's Ring of Honor Supercard event.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, baby.
Yeah, well, Tony Khan was saying that you wanted to tune into that show, and it was worth the $29.99. That and the FTR Briscoes match, which right now I think is my candidate for match of the year.
Oh, that match was epic.
It was unbelievable. Oof. It was worth months of build-up and the hype.
Yes.
It was amazing. And we'll get into FTR pretty heavily here in this episode. But any thoughts on Adam Cole Hangman feud?
I think it's happening faster than either one of us expected it to.
It's happening a night faster. I thought it was going to happen next Saturday at the Battle of the Belts.
Yeah.
I like how Tony's trying to stack Rampage up again.
Oh yeah, anytime there's a live Rampage, Tony stacks Rampage,
right.
And it's always a good show.
Yep. So I mean, they're going to stack the cards next Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, another great week of wrestling coming at you.
Yep. We did see Samoa Joe, AEW's newest signing, against Max Caster with Anthony Bowens, of course, of the Acclaim. This is an Owen Hart Cup qualifying match. How about the pop Joe got?
Whew. Man. I've seen somebody else get a pop like that, but not very often.
No, that was a loud one. I mean, crowd loves themselves some Joe.
Normally, you need about 70,000 plus.
What'd you think of Max Caster's lines last night on his rap?
Oh, they were great, as always.
I thought that might have been the best one.
Yeah, the shots at Joe were perfect, and I cannot wait to see this kid continue to do this.
Samoa Joe, I mean, Caster got a little offense in, but Joe really took it to him for the most part. End up taking Caster off the top turnbuckle, scooped him up, and planned him with the muscle buster for the 1, 2, 3. Crowd went nuts when he got him up in the air for that move.
Yeah, they were definitely loud.
Another loss for Max Caster, though. The Acclaim's a team that keeps racking up losses. Do you think they'd be better served in ROH?
You know, they might make that transition over there, but I did happen to catch Max's overall record, and it's like 52-21. So he's still over 500.
Well, he's getting a lot of wins on Dark and Dark Elevation. But part of me thinks they could benefit from going to ROH, but part of me thinks they're too over to go through ROH. They're like right on the edge.
Yeah.
I think we're going to still see them kind of do this role for about another year, and then they'll be serious tag team title contenders.
Oh, absolutely. Get another year under the belt. This is still, in my mind, still a little bit of punishment for the things Max has said.
Except he's
But
getting
yeah.
great TV time, though. So it's not, I mean, in a
Well,
way, it's, yeah. I mean,
but it's mostly singles competition. It's
well,
not tag
Bowens
team.
is hurt.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Bowens
Okay.
is hurt, even though they did perform a tag team match not too long ago. He didn't do much. Yeah, it's Tony Khan, I think it was on Busted Open a couple weeks ago, said a week or two ago, said Bowens is recovering from an injury.
Okay. Well, then maybe it's just to keep him in the mind of people so that when they get Bones
AEW
gets
does
cleared, they'll move it right back up.
They do a really good job at that. So they don't take people off TV unless they really have to.
Yeah.
So after the match, we saw Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. Nice to see Sanjay Dutt as a on-screen character.
Mm-hmm.
They appeared on the Big Tron. Lethal and Dutt say they won't ring on Joe's parade like he did to them last weekend because they respect Joe a lot more than Joe respects them. Jay Lethal says he and Dutt changed their outlook on life last week, and now they do whatever the hell they want. He says Joe now only answers his phone for billionaires, and perhaps his first new piece of merch with AEW should say Samoa Joe, the Samoan bold digger. Dutt says it's not too late to celebrate Joe's arrival. Lethal says next week Joe's number one student will give him a present that he'll never forget. The segment ends. Commentary runs down the rest of the card for last night, and then we head to a commercial break. What do you think that surprise could be, Paul? Is it somebody?
I hope it's not somebody, just because, again, we're at that point where you've got to stop adding people to the roster. Now, mind you, you've got Dynamite, Rampage, Elevation, Dark, and now ROH. But that's a lot of people still if you keep adding to it.
Yeah, there are a lot of contracts coming up here in the next 2 months, it sounds like. But you're right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the books look like exactly. But he is adding a lot of talent, but he wants to build the best roster possible. So there are still some good free agents out there. So we'll see. So wouldn't shock me if somebody comes in even for a one-off. But I like this. This reminds me of prime TNA here, and I like it. Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Samoa Joe.
Oh, yeah.
How the WWE could release Samoa Joe twice just baffles my mind.
Yeah, I think the second time he wised up and went, look, you're not calling me back this time. I'm done.
No. Yeah. Didn't work out. So he's going to be a huge asset to both AEW and ROH. For sure.
He was a huge asset to ROH when he was in ROH the first time.
Absolutely. Back from the break, we see Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley alongside William Regal with Tony Schiavone, of course, the Blackpool. Why am I Blackpool?
Fight Club?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know why I'm blanking on that. I don't have it on my notes, and I'm just completely blanking.
Blackpool something club. I just don't remember if it's fight or not.
Regal says he's off his nut with excitement, which cracked Danielson up, because this Friday in Rampage, Bryan Danielson will face Trent of the Best Friends, and Jon Moxley takes on Wheeler Yuta. There's a little spoiler alert here. I didn't look at the results, but I heard that's one hell of a match Friday night. That's what I've kind of read. I didn't see who won because I want to be surprised, but I've heard that's a great match. Regal called Danielson the perfect wrestler and Moxley the hardest man to impress. Moxley says this Friday on Rampage, he'll hear the sounds of bone cracking like thunder in a ring full of blood.
Ooh. All right. I was trying to find the Blackpool Combat Club.
Combat Club. I can't believe we already forgot that.
Close. It was close.
That's embarrassing for us, Paul, though. That's embarrassing.
There's a lot of factions.
There are. And Wheeler Yuta is the new ROH Peer Champion.
Yes, I am excited for him. The dude's got a bright future, and I can say he's only going up from here with the championship, like the Pure Championship around his waist. He's gold. Which
I got to admit, I haven't watched tons of ROH in the past. And I did order Friday night's event, so I was intrigued to see the Pure Championships got a whole different set of rules to their matches.
Yep.
It was interesting.
Yep. Well, if you want to go back and watch ROH, you can subscribe to ROH for $9.99 a month.
I'm hoping they strike I'm hoping them and AEW strike a streaming deal with HBO Max soon.
I hope so.
We then get the next match of the night: Shawn Spears with MJF at commentary against Captain Shawn Dean. The captain, you got to remember, he beat CM Punk.
Yes, he did.
Beat MJF thanks to CM Punk.
Thanks.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Thanks to CM Punk. Yes. A little while back. Spears was pointing out security alerts for Wardlow, the signs that surround the ring, and Spears kicks a hole in Wardlow's face on one of the posters. Spears gets dinged back in the ring, lands a kick to the midsection, then plants him with a neck breaker before going for the cover, but he lifts Dean's head to stop the count, like the cocky man the chairman is. Spears lifts Dean, and we cut to the big Tron, and we see a bunch of security laid out around the parking lot. Spears drops Dean and looks around for Wardlow, but then the big man is shown on the Tron. He's laying out every member of security that's coming his way. Wardlow makes his way down the stage through the crowd. MJF's going nuts on commentary. He continues taking security out, but the number game finally catches up to Wardlow. He's escorted out while MJF's yelling at him some more from afar. Come back to the ring, and that was enough of a distraction for Shawn Dean to roll up Spears for the quick 1, 2, 3. As Wardlow smiles and laughs.
So that means the captain is now 2-0 against the Pinnacle.
2-0 against the Pinnacle, and getting another match against MJF next week.
Yes. Which Wardlow, I'll make this prediction now as your champion. Wardlow will interfere at some point, somehow.
I think that's pretty safe.
But I don't think the captain will get the win next week.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's pretty safe to say that MJF gets payback for the loss. I just can't see a world where MJF loses twice to Shawn Dean. That'd be pretty incredible.
That'd be interesting, that's for sure.
That would. Backstage, we see the new Ring of Honor peer champion, like we were just talking about, Wheeler Yuta, as well as Chuck Taylor, Trent, and Orange Cassidy, the best friends. Tony Schiavone's interviewing them, asking Yuta and Trent about their matches this coming Friday against Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. But Chuck interrupts and tells Yuta that while they love him, they helped train him. And Chuck points out that Yuta still lives on the couch. Chuck says he knows Yuta wants to be the best wrestler in the world, but says there's no reason that he can't do that with them. Trent then cuts in and says he doesn't love Yuta and calls him a scumbag. Trent asks Yuta if he remembers when Danielson beat him last week, then tells Yuta to watch what he does to Danielson this Friday night. Chuck tells Yuta to take notes and says maybe he can learn a thing or two from the guys that he's trying to turn his back on. Trent and Yuta shove each other, and everyone exits. Then we see Sammy Guevara come down with his girlfriend, Tay Conte, and they go over to cue cards during commercial break.
Here's the thing. I love the cue cards. Sammy spoiled it for me on the vlog that he doesn't even write them half the time.
Figured he didn't.
But because that's why he looks so shocked on some of them, because he truly is shocked. And I gotta say though, it's gonna be hard to turn these two heel like they want to.
Oh, I don't think so. I think
they're too over.
Not according to what the crowd was chanting on the tapings last night. Rampage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some F-bombs going towards their direction and big boos. Yeah, I think I think they need to do it soon, because I got to be honest, I'm not too intrigued by Sammy right now.
No,
I love the last Cody, but ever since that, I don't know.
I have had honestly less interest in watching the vlog. Even
I have too, Paul, and they're getting a little long for me too.
Yes. I mean, it's fine if they're 20 minutes with multiple different segments, but when it's just 18 minutes of Sammy and Ty doing different things together, okay, you're the it couple.
That's why I keep thinking they're going to lean into it in turn, because they're really shoving it in our face.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy for both of them. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
I still like Sammy, but it's just his story. The storyline right now is just not intriguing to me, and maybe it's because we haven't seen America Top Team on TV in the last few weeks.
No, and
on Dynamite, I should say. They were on Rampage last Friday.
Right. And one thing that gets me is I catch little details on everything. It's just what I do. On the vlog this week, they were talking about persistence and Ty referenced that she knows how Sammy can be persistent. So was Sammy trying to get with Ty when he was still with Pam? I mean, I know I'm going back to that. They've moved on, this, that, and the other. But I mean, you proposed to her.
It's hard not to speculate.
You proposed to her, and a month and a half later, you're dating Ty Conti.
Well, and I mean, him and Pam were together, I think at least 9 years or so. So
yeah,
something. Yeah. I think something happened, but I don't like to speculate too much. But it's hard not to.
Right. I'd love to get Pam's perspective on all this, but nobody knew how to get a hold of her beforehand, and definitely not now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't if I were her. I'd just lay low. She wants to get on with her life and live her life. And
yeah, she was probably tired of being referred to as Sammy's girlfriend.
Yep. She those must have been her cats too that were always on the vlog.
Yeah, the cats are gone. I miss the cats.
Yep. So
anyway, moving on.
Yes, moving on. We then see TBS champion Jay Cargill make her way to the entrance ramp alongside Mark Sterling, where they meet Tony Schiavone. Jay tells Tony to cut it out, or actually says cut the shit.
Yes.
Jade says she's here to formally introduce the baddie section. Jade says a baddie is a beautiful woman with confidence. She then calls the Boston crowd slobs. And Mark says it was difficult to find good-looking people in Boston, Massachusetts, but because of Jade's hard work, she was able to do it. Mark says the one person not allowed in the baddie section is Marina Shafir. Mark says while Marina is a badass, she's no baddie. Jade calls Marina trash and says she's only referring to her as number 30. Jade says she's tired of all these MMA losers coming into her ring, which got a big pop from the crowd. Mark says she was concerned about Marina's fighting background and that the fact that she's referred to as the problem. Jade tells Mark to back off. She says she's lucky she's the problem solver. Jade and Mark leave, and we cut backstage where Wardlow or MJF is livid alongside Mark's Sean Spears. I cannot read tonight. MJF calls Wardlow scumbag and challenges Sean Dean to a match next Wednesday night. We then head back to the ring. It's time for the next match. Jade, fine promo. Builds up the match a little more. I like Mark Sterling a lot from the Major Wrestling Figure podcast and their vlogs and everything. I think she's outgrown him. I don't think she needs Mark Sterling anymore as a mouthpiece.
No, she doesn't. And remember, that's not Mark on the Action Figure podcast. That's an imposter. Ask Danhausen.
Good point.
Oh, his vlogs are something else.
Oh, they are. And I don't like how it looks like his first AEW feud is going to be with Hook. I don't like that.
That or the Ass Boys. I mean, you only had kind of a few ways to go here.
Yeah, but there's no way he's going to beat Hook.
Oh,
that's the
no.
thing. So no. I don't like him coming in and losing his first feud, but.
No, but, as long as he wins his first match, I'm okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I don't think he'll beat Hook.
No, I mean, like, get in a feud, just go out, have a random match that leads to a feud with Hook somehow, like he beats Ricky Starks or something. So Hook comes out, gets in his face, and then they have a feud. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't write these things. I just predict them.
Yes, exactly. Booking's hard.
Yes.
We then got a tables match between the Butcher and the Blade against Matt and Jeff Hardy. The Hardy Boys get a big pop like they always do. This match was interesting, to say the least. Confusing match, Paul. When you have to explain the rules like 3 or 4 times, there's too much going on.
Yeah, and it was an elimination match.
So both partners had to go through tables for the opposition to win. I got
and
that.
It had to be an offensive move, so you couldn't accidentally put yourself through a table.
So I'm okay with that. But then they talk about the no disqualification. So the partners that are eliminated can still be in the match. I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
It's like sometimes I think AEW needs to put a little tighter grip on the rules. They're way too loose with a lot of the rules.
Like, I'm okay if it's still a no disqualification match. But once you're eliminated, you're not allowed to interfere again.
Right. Jeff should have been out of the match. It should have been 2-on-1.
Yes. Now, if the rest of the AFO would have interfered, that'd have been a different story.
Right.
but to keep Jeff ringside, so to speak,
Yeah.
no.
Because we saw Jeff get eliminated, and then Matt eliminated Butcher with a leg drop. So it should have been just a Blade against Matt, but the Butcher continued to attack Matt even though he was eliminated. So Butcher and the Blade set up Matt for a slam through the table over the barricade, but Jeff made the save and moved the table at the last second. Matt then hit another leg drop on Butcher. Jeff grabbed a ladder. Matt hit Butcher with a twist of fate. Jeff set up the ladder and went up top and planted Blade with a swanton bomb through the table for the win. So the guy who actually gets the win was the guy already eliminated. I just didn't enjoy this match. I gotta say.
No. I mean, like, when the bell rang there at the end, I was confused. I'm like, Jeff's eliminated.
Yep.
Matt needed to do it. All Matt did was hold the ladder.
I think this was definitely the worst table match the Hardys have ever been a part of.
Yes.
It's the worst table match AEW's done. I get the nostalgia gimmick of the Hardys in the 90s, but they kind of look, or Matt kind of looks goofy at least, wearing that clothing at his age.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're probably eventually going to go into their broken characters. I wish they'd kind of just go that direction here soon. I'm afraid we're going to see the Hardys, one of them, get really hurt soon. And I'm all for it. You know, Jeff's come out publicly. This is going to be their last run together. I'm cool with that. You know, I'm enjoying it while I can, but I don't want to see these high spots every week. I don't want to see them going through tables every week. Their bodies can't take it at their age.
Right. You know, if this is their last run, they introduced Jeff as Jeffrey Nero Hardy.
Right.
So there we go. We've got another reference to the broken character. So let's just make that transition and do it.
You're right. It's I
know Jeff was doing the same face paint every week when he was with the other company. So
yeah, he's done face paint for years, going back to TNA.
Yeah.
They'll probably get their characters like they are now through Double or Nothing. Then maybe we get something else, but it's gonna, because the nostalgia is gonna wear off eventually,
quickly.
But maybe they want to get their usage of the of their theme song.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I did not really care for that match.
No.
After the match, Andrade El Idolo, Jose the assistant, and Private Party come down to the ring, but then we get Steen's music hits. He rushes down, and the heels retreat. Steen's hitting them with baseball bats. So it looks like maybe they're leaning to a Sting Andrade match, which would be really interesting.
I'd be okay with that.
That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen proof that Sting can still go. He doesn't need a cinematic match every time he's in a match. So let's do a regular match. 1-on-1 regular match. No tables, no ladders, no chairs, no DQs, just a regular match. 1-on-1 in the ring.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I don't know. They like having them in these tornado tag matches. So
I think it's because they're still trying to protect Sting so that he's not doing it all.
And I think, Sting's come out publicly and he's admitted he's already done more with AEW than he thought he was going to.
He's done more with AEW than he did with WWE.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he ever envisioned he was going to be jumping off of barricades through tables or jumping off turnbuckles, doing things like that. So,
not at all.
I'm still waiting for some heel to give him a buckle bomb. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. I know everybody's probably nervous, but somebody's got to do it.
As long as they don't mess it up, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, he took that powerbomb from Brian Cage shortly after he debuted in the company, and everybody thought he was like dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all just kind of went, oh
yeah, it was scary.
Until he moved.
It was a hard powerbomb.
Yeah.
Backstage, we see Christian Cage being irritated, and he walks out on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus challenged Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish of Red Dragon to an AEW Tag Team title match next week on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any gut feeling for that match?
I want to say Jurassic Express is going to pull it off, but with Christian looking irritated and walking out, I'm starting to feel that turn that you more than me keep referring to
I've been referring to it for months, but
since day one.
yeah, we'll see. 'Cause I almost think there's going to be a title change of some sort next week. And I can't see it being Nyla over Thunder Rosa.
No.
Battle for the belts.
TNT championship on the line?
It hadn't been announced yet, but I think Scorpio's going to put online, but I don't see him losing it yet either. I mean, I think the highest chance would be Jurassic Express losing the titles.
Do you think so? You don't think Jade drops it yet?
No. No, I think she has her toughest challenge to date, though.
Is she going into the Owen Hart women's tournament?
That's interesting. I haven't thought about that.
Does she get her first loss in that tournament?
Man, these are a lot of good questions.
You hit me with them last week, so I had to return the favor.
If I was AEW, I would not have her lose till like the summer or fall and have her lose that TBS title then.
Yeah.
It's got to be a big, big deal. So if it's not 30, make it like 50.
But who's left?
I know. Yeah, I still think you bring in a talent that's out there as a free agent. I don't know who that is.
I mean, at this point, we've got her 30th opponent, Leva Bates, and Toni Storm. That's about it that she hasn't taken on yet.
Yeah.
Serena Deeb, maybe.
Well, there's definitely some heels she hasn't taken on, yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, if you want to do face-wise, she's
right.
knocked out everybody but Leva Bates, because I'm sorry, Leva Bates is a face. Get over it.
That would be a squash match.
Yeah, unfortunately.
John Ross Sapp wasn't even sure she's still under contract, even though she's been showing up on AEW television. So he was going to look into that.
Well, he needs to, because I heard that there was this possible talk of moving her up since she was working hand in hand with Brandy, basically, possibly making her, if not the chief brand officer, giving her an official title like that.
Yeah, and I think now I mentioned it, Reed, that I thought her and Aubrey Edwards are kind of heading up heels. So,
yeah.
So we'll see.
Which is weird because Aubrey's not a heel.
Right. We then got, speaking of the Owen Hart Cup qualifying match on the women's side, Kuroshita versus Julia Hart, who was with Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Pretty short match here. Julia immediately attacks Sheeta and tells Pillman and Garrison to leave, which they do. Sheeta gets on the offensive, plants Hart with a suplex. Sheeta scoops and slams Hart, then hits a running bulldog before going for the cover, but Hart kicks out. Sheeta lifts Hart and plants her with a Falcon Arrow for the 1-2-3.
Yeah.
After the match, we see Serena Deeb rush down to the ring with a steel chair in hand, but Sheeta sends her backpedaling with a Kindle stick, and we cut backstage where we see Swerve Strickland. So we're still getting this long feud between Kuroshita and Serena Deeb.
This is probably one of the longest feuds that we've seen in the company, if not the longest.
I think it's got to be.
Yeah. So, oof.
Yeah, but I don't know what the payoff's going to be.
I know there's no relation, but it would have been nice if Julia could have made it a little bit further in the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah.
But or join the House of Black. One of the two. Come on, Julia, make up your mind.
Yeah. Well, there was I think it was Steven Larson on the Going In Raw podcast. One of them mentioned that they thought they saw some heavy makeup or some paint or something under the eye patch.
So maybe we're still gonna get that story at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I still think there's too much there. I think they got to put a bow tie on it somewhere.
Sooner rather than later, preferably.
Yeah, it's because it's one of those stories that the longer it drags out, I lose interest.
Yeah. I mean, now it's just kind of like it's just part of who she is, that eye patch.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We will see. Yeah, we went backstage. We saw Swerve Strickland. Swerve says he had an amazing time at the Grammys this past weekend, but says his week prior wasn't too good with Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks putting him through a table. Swerve says he has some business to handle, but Hobbs and Starks follow him into the room and attack him out of nowhere. Keith Lee makes a save and fires Hobbs through a wall.
Yes. This is getting good.
Yeah, it is. I just like seeing Hobbs and Keith Lee go at it.
Yes. Yes. I agree with you. I think they are two great performers, and anytime you get them in the ring together, it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's then time for the main event. It's time for a match ever since it was announced Friday on the Super Card of Honor. I just couldn't wait for FTR versus the Young Bucks 2. This time the AAA tag titles and the newly won ROH tag titles are on the line.
Yeah, unfortunately that kind of spoiled it for me, but
Well, I figured all along we're going to get a series of 3 matches out of these guys. And the way FTR's been lately, turning face, having the big win over the Briscoes, I'm like, this is a rare opportunity where they can possibly book FTR to have maybe the greatest week a tag team's ever had.
Yes.
Beating 2 Hall of Fame teams, 2 of the greatest tag teams to ever do it, in the Briscoes and the Young Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime we get to talk about FTR or the Young Bucks or the Briscoes, I'm all for it. I think what I would like to personally see, these 3 in a triple threat tag match for the ROH titles over on ROH.
Yeah, we might. I think we're more likely to see the Briscoes still on ROH than we are AEW.
Yeah.
And I know the Briscoes have apologized for what was said, but if people at Time Warner are still offended by it and mad, then not much you can do about it. They kind of have the last say. I do know Impact wants to sign the Briscoes. They're very interested.
Ooh.
And the Briscoes are doing some Impact stuff and have done some stuff with NWA lately, so they're not lacking for work. That's for sure.
No.
They're too talented.
No. Yeah, that's for sure.
Too much in this match to go over completely.
Yeah.
But a fun match overall. A lot of great little bits and pieces of storytelling. Did you notice when the Young Bucks went to hit Cash Wheeler with the BT trigger, even with like one eye closed, he gave him the too sweet sign? Did you happen to notice that?
Yes, I did.
Catch that till today. Man, they were telling stories this whole match.
Yep.
Towards the end of the match, we see Matt Jackson hit Cash with a Frankensteiner. Nick wallops Dax with a punt kick. Matt then drills Cash with a springboard buster. Dax comes back with a brain buster to Nick on the outside of the ring. Cash hits the gory special on Matt back in the ring before going to cover, but Matt kicks out. FTR lined Matt up for the big rig, but Matt slides out. Hits Dax with a low blow when Nick had Rick Knox distracted. The Bucks plant Cash with the big rig. That was pretty cool, seeing the Bucks hit the big rig. Matt goes for the cover, but Cash kicks out at 2.5. Matt and Nick drill Cash with the BT trigger, which I was just kind of mentioning. Nick goes for the cover, but Cash gets his foot on the bottom rope at 2.5. That's after Knox already counted 3, but he informed them that Cash got his foot on the rope, and the match continues. The Bucks are in disbelief. FTR hits simultaneously hit pile drivers on both the Bucks. Then they nail Matt with a BT trigger, and then a pair of kisses before Cash covers Matt and goes the 1, 2, 3 for the win after hitting the big rig. Great match. Another one that's up there for match of the year for me. FTR is on a freaking roll.
And the first time I've ever heard the crowd say, "Thank you, Knox."
Yes.
Because even though the bell rang, he said, no. He got his foot on the rope before I hit 3. It continues. So
I am loving the run FTR is on right now. I got my FTR shirt on tonight. For everybody that's listening and can't see it on camera. I thought these guys kind of got off to a little of a slow start in 2020.
They did.
And then even though we got we did get the great Young Bucks FTR match in November at Full Gear of 2020, in which the Bucks got the upper hand. 2021, they're up and down, but boy, they've been on point with their storytelling for 2022. I mean, just think, these were the guys a handful of years ago in WWE that were shaving each other's backs in the shower. In storyline with the Usos.
Hashtag FTR.
Yes.
That's when that came out.
And now they are over with the crowd, and it's cool to see them as baby faces.
Slowly becoming baby faces. Let's not go full baby face yet. They're not quite there.
I think in the crowd's eyes they're there, but they still got a little more turning to do on the pinnacle, I suppose. But they're getting there.
Yes.
So very fun show. A lot set up for the next 2 rampages, and not a lot set up for next week's Dynamite. Overall rating for the show, 1 through 10.
I'm gonna probably blow you away here with this 8.5.
It was a good one.
It was
a good one.
It was. FTR helped me really get that over to an 8.5 because it was starting to slip a little bit, but then that main event hit, man, and whew.
I'll go 8. I was thinking 8.5 myself, but I'll go 8. So
all right.
I think it's it was a fun one. It was a fun one. I mean, a lot of times I have trouble, even though AEW's got me glued, I still have trouble being on my phone at times. For that main event, I made sure to put my phone away because I was that's just one of those matches. I had to make sure I put my phone away, and I was fully invested in it.
Yeah, Wardlow and FTR. Anytime they're on TV, you always put your phone away. So
good point. So when are we getting FTR and the Bucks 3? Because it's going to happen eventually. I mean, do they run this thing back at Double or Nothing? Or do we get it more down the road somewhere?
I think we get it back at Double or Nothing.
I'm kind of thinking you're right. I saw somebody on Twitter suggest a 2 out of 3 falls match.
I would be okay with that.
That'd be fun. That'd be something different.
And it would have to go, FTR gets the first victory, Bucks get the second, and then FTR get the third. Or vice versa.
Yeah, I was good. I almost think the Bucks get over in the next match.
See, I can't pick a clear winner yet, but whoever it is, they've got to pick up the first and lose the second.
Well, I often have to remind myself the FTR is not the tag team champions because they're so over right now, in my opinion. They're the AAA champions, they're ROH champions. Do you think we're going to get a similar storyline where they are the belt collectors of the tag team division? Kind of looks like it to me.
That'd be nice. They're moving up the rankings pretty quickly.
So this is why I'm making a prediction right now. I think Red Dragon become the new tag champions on Wednesday, but they only hold the belts for a little while, and then FTR gets the belts off Red Dragon.
I can agree with that. That's the problem here. We're not supposed to agree on our predictions, but that sounds good.
Maybe that happens at Double or Nothing. Then we get the third match between the Bucks and FTR with the tag belts on the line again.
Okay. I'm okay with them having all 3 as long as they don't have to defend all 3 within 7 days.
Yeah.
Because out of anybody on the roster, FTR has had the craziest week.
Oh, I honestly, since I've watched professional wrestling, I can't remember a tag team having a better week than they just had.
Right.
I really can't.
Dynamite into ROH into Dynamite.
And one thing it came to my mind, I forgot to even talk about in my notes was Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz, and the Jericho Appreciation Society, which pretty much a lot of smack was talked, and Eddie, Santana and Ortiz were beating up Jericho Appreciation Society and chased them off to where they got into SUV and drove away. And we're getting a 3-on-3 match next week between the 2 teams.
I am okay with a beatdown and a chase down, but let's stop involving vehicles.
Yeah.
Everybody runs to a vehicle and drives away. Yes, we get it. That's what the heels do because they're cowards.
And we saw Eddie throw a big TV. That looked like at least a 50-inch TV to me.
Yeah. But come on, stop destroying electronics and vehicles. You got another guy who's ripping doors off of trucks as they drive away from him, and these guys chasing him. Luckily, nobody threw a sledgehammer through anything. Oh, wait, Sammy did that.
I did laugh that Ortiz chased him clear down the street. And Santana and Eddie are like, hey, they're already gone.
It's Ortiz. What do you expect?
Yeah.
He's the loose cannon.
Yes, he is. So, but Eddie's ready for a fight. They're all ready for a fight. Should be entertaining next week.
Wrestler of the night.
I got to break my rule and go with the tag team, and I got to go with FTR.
I can't disagree with you this week.
It's too hard.
I got to go right with you.
Look at the match they won.
Yeah. You know, to have such a grueling match on ROH and then come over and deliver a great match this Wednesday as if nothing had happened at ROH is spectacular. So hats off to them.
Yep. So fun to watch right now, for sure.
Yes.
Any other bits around AEW you want to talk about?
No. Squared Circle Expos next weekend. Tanner will not, unfortunately, be there.
It's a bad weekend. It's Easter weekend. I wish they would have had it on a different weekend.
But I will be there.
Yes.
I will be representing KOP. So if you're there and you see me, I'll have my most likely either my black or my white KOP shirt on. So you'll see KOP on it. Feel free to come up, say, hey, I'll have my son with me.
Is the belt going with you guys?
See, here's the thing. I want to say yes, but if I defend it against you and I lose, I don't get to take pretty gold.
Well, if you decide to defend it against me and lose, I'll still be a nice guy and let you take it down.
Oh, okay.
Just because it benefits the show and it gets more buzz and conversation going about the show.
Okay.
So
ultimately,
it's your decision.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We got some time. You'll know by Monday.
You guys have any? Did you sign up for any of the meet and greets or the photo ops or anything?
I did not.
No,
I did not.
Yeah,
no. But I did see. I did see that there was a change to scheduling because now Adam Cole was originally supposed to be there Friday and Saturday, as was Hangman. Now they are both only Saturday because they're doing their match, and then they're getting on an airplane and flying straight to Indy.
Yeah.
So that is dedication from those guys right there.
And I think last I saw, it was a couple days ago, their photo ops were 75% sold out.
Yeah, I know. That was the thing. I was looking at those today, and I was like, all right, well, I got the tickets. Maybe I'll buy a photo op next week. And then I went, by next week, there ain't going to be anything left.
No.
Maybe I'll get lucky and run into somebody who's like, oh, yeah, I'll take a picture with you.
Yeah, well, so you're just going to have to see what you can do, and I'm sure you guys will have a great time. So.
Oh, yeah, it'll be a blast.
Yeah.
It'll be a blast.
You'll have to report back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Before I let you get off of here, we got to talk about it one more time.
Yeah. This is probably the last conversation we'll have about this guy for a while, I would think.
Yeah.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, did do what I predicted a few weeks ago and appear at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. He signed a multi-year deal with WWE, and they presented him like I thought they should. They kept the music, the wardrobe, graphics, and everything the exact same as AEW.
Even brought him up from center stage.
Which Saturdays was great. Monday nights was crap. So Monday nights look cheap.
I did not watch Monday nights. I watched the replay of his promo.
So you didn't see the entrance on Monday?
No.
Oh my God. For one, I don't like the camera shot. They shoot it like real up close. So all of a sudden you just see his head for a little bit. Then he comes up. And then when he walked down, you saw what he came down up from. It was literally a box that had a ramp. It was pathetic looking. It was absolutely pathetic. So they're not going to have an actual center thing every week, I don't think. But they got to figure something else. They looked like trash.
They got to do something.
His promo was fine.
Yeah.
It was fully scripted. Sean Ross Sapp said.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I could tell from the way he was talking.
I guess you give me your opinion on Cody's return, his first match, and everything that's kind of transpired since.
Well, for his first match, his return. Okay, I text you and a good friend of the podcast, Austin Shepard, this Saturday night because it's the only reason I tuned in.
Same.
I'm not gonna lie. I did watch Sunday as well, but it was just background noise while I was doing homework.
Pretty much.
There were things on Saturday that happened that I saw news stories on that I went, when did that happen? I never saw that happen during the show. Charlotte Flair's slip up, apparently. Never saw it.
That
but apparently
sloppy, I thought.
Apparently enough people did that it made multiple news stories about Charlotte Flair making slip ups again. But yeah, 70,000 plus people popped when the lights went out. I
popped when the music came on.
They got louder when the music came on.
People still weren't sure when the lights were going. I think some people still thought it might be the Undertaker because he said "Never say never" the night before in his Hall of Fame induction ceremony speech. I think some people thought it might be Bray Wyatt, but I think a majority knew what was coming.
If you listen closely, and I noticed this watching the promo back, and correct me if I'm wrong, somehow they are shutting the crowd off. I don't know how they're blocking them out, but the crowd just dropped silent in the middle of something. They started chanting Cody. You see Seth looking around, and then it got really quiet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Different stuff with their truck. That's for sure.
And I even really saw that during the promo because it was like there was nothing, and then it's like Cody was supposed to react, so they fed something in so Cody would react to it. It was weird.
It was a good match. Good match. I mean, got the win over Rollins, so they're definitely got to give him the push. They should.
His head. Whew.
Beat up. Yeah. No blood in a big Rhodes match. That was weird after seeing blood every time in a big match the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it was just bizarre. I mean, it was weird.
It was. And what is with Seth Rollins? Is he like supposed to be the Joker or something?
Yeah, he's going a little crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because when he came down Monday night, like, okay, Saturday, yeah, fine, it's WrestleMania. Do what you do. That threw me off Monday. He's just all,
he's a little crazy. Yeah. Yep. A little crazy. Yep.
Laughing for no reason. I'm like, this is what the Joker does.
Yep.
Before he fights Batman.
What'd you think about Seth's comment during the match Saturday? Welcome back to the big leagues.
I knew it was going to come.
Yeah.
I knew there was going to be a stab from somebody at some point. Did you catch the Stardust reference?
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So, I guess that's one thing that Cody told Vince during negotiations. He doesn't ever want anything brought up about Stardust again. Just wants to forget about it.
And I kind of like, again, it's scripted, how Corey Graves recognized it and said, that was a clean slate saying, this is the past me. We're never going to see it again. Get over it. Right. It's gone.
Right. And the story they're telling is really good. It makes sense right now with Cody. He's going for the title that his daddy never won, that they took away from him. So I get that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but
I do.
It's not even that. It's not the on television product. It's more of what he's saying in the interviews.
Yeah.
He's lying out of his teeth.
Yes.
About a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more that went down between him and Tony Khan than we'll probably ever find out, or we'll find out 20 years from now in a book, and I can't wait.
Right.
But I think it's him and Tony had some personal stuff go on. I think it's creative. I think Tony wanted. This is personal opinion. I think Tony wanted to turn heel. He didn't want to do it. I do think it was Tony taking the reins of creative in 2020 because I think it's the AEW crowd turning on him because they were all about Cody 2019 through about midway or at least first quarter of 2020. I don't believe for a second I already faced everybody in AEW I wanted to face. Don't believe that.
I do not believe that either. See, the one thing that got me, and I don't know if this is a true promo or not, or a true interview or not, but I saw something that quoted Cody, and it looked like he was sitting for an interview that said, I leave AEW and Sammy's basically making a sex tape with the TNT Championship.
Yeah, I watched that interview. He did say that, yes, because he said he was talking about opponents and he was talking about Sammy. He finally got to have a good match with the grown-up version of Sammy. Then he walked back and said, "Oh, Sammy." And then I heard that, yeah. So he kind of took a shot at Sammy there for being immature.
Do you think Vince is putting him up to it?
I don't think Vince ever wants to bring up AEW because once you bring up the competition, you know what I'm
Triple H
saying?
has been doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Well, and then Cody had he called Triple H his favorite wrestler of all time, which when he was in AEW, I thought he called Sting his favorite wrestler of all time.
I think Sting still is. The way he brought up Triple H in that promo, again, it was scripted, but the way he said it, I don't think was. I think there's still something between him and H that is one reason Cody left, and he's back. H is not, and he is kind of gloating in that factor.
Well, in the interviews, I mean, he said Triple H was the last guy to come on the bus, and the last guy he saw before he went up through the stage at WrestleMania. I mean, it sounds like they're on good terms. He said he does not regret anything he did. Smashing the throne, all the trash he talked, he said he doesn't regret any of it. It's part of his journey.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I know it's scripted, but the one thing I did like about
these
the
are
promo,
the interviews he was saying.
Well, I know, but I mean, the I was going to go back to his promo from Monday night for a minute here. He said, "I wasn't ready before, but I am now."
No, that makes sense. It makes sense. It's just, I still go back to he should have. There's things in AEW he should have never said if he was going to go back on him. He should have never said this is going to be the last stop for him in his career. He can't go back. The other guys could. He can't. I mean, it really sounds like money wise, he didn't get any more money than he would have got from AEW.
I think he got a longer term contract than maybe TK was willing to give him, especially if, some of the things you've heard and some of the speculations of him and Tony bumping heads. Maybe Tony said, "Look, I'll give you a 2-year deal right now. We'll revisit it in 2024. And for all we know, Vince went, "I'll give you a contract through 2026 if you want."
Yeah, we have no idea how long this contract is, WWE. I mean,
multi-years, 2 to 20.
2, 3, 4, 5. Do you think he'll finish his career in WWE, or do you think there's any chance? There's always a chance. Never say never in pro wrestling. I've learned that definitely the last few years. Do you think there's any? Do you foresee him coming back to AEW and finish his career there? I guess.
I don't know. Like I know it's a multi-year.
Gun to your head on April 7th, 2022.
Yes.
Coming back to AEW.
I think he goes, wins the belt. Dad couldn't win. Rides that out. Drops the belt. His contract ends. He doesn't resign, and he goes back to AEW.
If that ever happens,
then he retires.
He has to come back as a heel, and he has to go after the AEW championship.
And he's got to come back with the black hair. He cannot do the blonde if he comes back.
Well, and that's another thing. And I understand the WWE title is different than the AEW title, but if he really wanted that title so bad, or wanted a big title, he shouldn't have booked himself in that stipulation he did at 2019 Full Gear.
Right.
He kind of put it, because he also made, in the same interview he talked about Sammy, he said he didn't want to be a 15-time TNT champion.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't say, "Well, I'll never go if I lose this match."
So
again,
I think I'm wishy-washy. I get some things, I get some points he's making to the press, and some others I'm kind of rolling my eyes.
Yeah. All right. So hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do 2 things here real quick. One, with the way Vince has changed all the titles, he's never going to have the title his dad never won. The second, well, now the officially most prestigious title, in my opinion, his dad won, and he won. And that's the NWA. I mean, that title's been around now longer than any other title.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's got more names behind it than any. Well, okay. Vince has probably put as close to as many names behind the Universal and WWE title now. But with that being said, we've unified the belts. Roman's still carrying both of them. Roman will probably continue to carry both of them. We put Cody in the title picture, go against Roman. He beats the tribal chief. He gets the belts, unifies them, and bring back the big gold belt. Thoughts?
I like it, but I don't think the networks will go for it. I think they each want their own champion. That's why I think Roman's going to have to get rid of one of the belts eventually.
Okay, so fine. He drops the Universal because he's now officially the longest reigning Universal champion in history. Well, the belt's been around 5 years and he's held it for 3 of those. Big whoop.
Well, here's some interesting things. I could see him going 2 directions if they have Cody challenge for the title, which looks like he's going to do a program with Seth Rollins first. They got 2 different shows at Madison Square Garden, I think, coming up this year.
Yes.
I could see him doing a title change at Madison Square Garden. Cody wins at the place where his dad could have or should have won.
Yes.
But what I'd like to see them do if they're smart, Cody beats Roman, but it's via countout. So he wins the belt, but doesn't win the belt just like his dad.
And then challenges again and wins it?
Yeah,
because I mean,
due time.
I mean, he's got to win it at some point, or he came back for nothing.
Yeah, he'll win it at some point. He's too good of a wrestler not to be a world champion. But he also, in one of those interviews, he called himself the best wrestler in the world.
Wow.
I like Cody, but I don't think he's the best. He said he seriously believes in ring and on the promo, he's the best.
Wow.
Which makes me think,
what's Vince feeding him?
Did he get intimidated by all the new talent coming into AEW? The Bryan Danielsons, CM Punks.
Yeah, it could have been.
Adam Cole's.
It could have been, and he went over to where they use
a little bit down on the card.
And now he's over in a company where they reuse the same 15 wrestlers on repeat no matter what.
And would Vince have Cody beat Roman? Would it be a bad look if he had to grab one of the AEW big boys, the big names, to come in and beat the tribal chief?
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see.
Man, that would be hard because some of those big names are under contract through 2024 at least.
Yeah.
So you've got Cody not winning gold for another minimum of 2 years.
Yeah, I think you have to have him win. I think if they don't have him win it here in 2022, it'll cool off.
Yeah. I think if he doesn't win it by SummerSlam, it cools off.
Good. Crowd loves him right now. He's one of the top merch sellers, which is no surprise when you have 3 shirts right away with the debut. That helps.
Yeah. And they're all black again. Go Cody.
Yeah, I will not be ordering one.
I will not either. I like his AEW stuff better.
Yep. And I know over the weekend Pro Wrestling Tees was selling his stuff one last time, and then it was going to be gone forever.
Wow.
So I don't know. You know, of course, Ringside Collectibles has 2 upcoming figures of his. I'm sure they're ticked about that, but they could be worth a lot more money for collectors. So.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to be harder to get their hands on now.
Yeah, and then they're going to be worth a lot more if you keep them in on card. So.
Yep.
One more question for you, or at least as right now, unless my mind thinks of another. But I was listening to the Q&A on Fightful Select with Sean Ross Sapp.
Okay.
And somebody asked him, who are some talents he thinks will stay in WWE and wouldn't jump, upcoming future, vice versa, would stay in AEW and wouldn't jump. WWE, he said, Seth, Roman, Sasha, and Becky were the 4 that came to his head that he wouldn't see never jumping. He might have named another one too, maybe Edge. On AEW, he said probably Omega and the Bucks, unless they had a follow with Tony. But he said that's it.
Okay,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Man, that's hard. That's hard to follow, even.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happened to Monday Night Wars. I mean, you saw people jumping company to company if they weren't happy or better payday. I mean, AEW still, they're never going to catch up to WWE because WWE's got too much of a head start, global impact and everything. There's money out the wazoo. But AEW, by the time these contracts are up in 2024, they can really make a name for themselves even more. And he said, he threw Punk in the mix too. He said Punk's another name he doesn't see ever going back.
Oh, yeah, that's one that legitimately could never go back.
I thought Jericho would at one time, but I don't think Jericho will now either.
See, that's where it's tough because he's brought back the sports entertainment side.
I know. I think he signed a new contract, though. I think. Or extended his. I think.
Oh, I mean, never say never.
Yeah. I know a lot. Oh, I know. And that's why it's scary to even buy merchandise or anything of these guys because you just never know. But
yeah,
you gotta enjoy.
But hey, you can buy Kicking Out podcast merchandise. We're not going anywhere.
No, we're not. No, we're not. And we got two options.
Shameless plug.
On Pro Wrestling Tees, you got some shirts there, some exclusive shirts that we like to call them, and we got a Teespring link on all of our social media accounts. Go to the link on there, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and go to our official Teespring shirt. You can find a lot of different designs and coffee mugs and more options. So,
yep. And maybe in the near future, you'll find a Predictions Championship inspired merchandise.
Maybe.
Not the actual belt. I looked at buying replicas of these things in the kids' versions, and that was a little bit more.
Pricey. A little
bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I don't know, a lot of interesting things and discussions to be had in the world of wrestling right now. Not just AEW, but WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, NWA. Whatever you watch, keep watching whatever you like. That's all I got.
Yes. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
We're a podcast that mostly covers AEW. That's what we do. That's our favorite promotion, but we're not going to rip on you for whatever you like. There's too much of that going on. I wish the IWC would just get along, stop being jerks and bullies.
Yeah.
Because really, when both products are good, it's good for professional wrestling. It's good for the other product. So,
yeah. I mean, everybody talks about, well, nothing was as good as the Monday Night Wars. Well, you wouldn't have had the Monday Night Wars with only one company.
100%.
So having multiple companies, you're getting a world wrestling war.
Well, when WWF bought WCW, they kind of became the only company for a while. Sure, you had ROH for a little while. TNA had some good, decent years. You had, some other New Japan a little bit, but... And I know we've talked about this before, Paul, but 2018, I was about ready to quit. I was about ready to done watching pro wrestling. I was literally, WWE was on my TV every Monday was background noise. I was just, because it was just boring to me. And I was almost ready to give it up until All In happened. And I didn't watch All In, but I followed the events shortly after. And I started following what Cody was doing because I remembered him for WWE and the Bucks. And I kept hearing about these Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And then I got more invested and started watching Being the Elite. And then All Elite Wrestling kicked off at the start of 2019. And I was hooked all over again.
Yep. And, I got to say, we're only a year into this podcast, but it's been a great podcast, which wouldn't have happened if we didn't have multiple brands.
Nope.
So, but, as we sit here and we talk wrestling, the problem becomes there are too many predictable things in WWE. Okay, I have not watched since WrestleMania of last year. I looked at that card and I got one match wrong.
Yeah.
I had Becky Lynch picking up the win over Belair.
I had Bianca winning that. Trying to think if I'm sure I missed one, but I can't think right now.
And I got AJ and Edge wrong because I figured AJ would pick that up too.
That's one I might have missed.
So I missed two on 2 nights of wrestling on a program I haven't watched in a year.
I knew the celebrities weren't losing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did not see Vince going over McAfee in that makeshift match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that.
And the worst stunner in the history of stunners.
Oh God, you had to go there, didn't you? I still have nightmares about that.
That was worse than the first one ever. That
Yeah,
was bad.
I
But,
mean, Vince has never been able to take a stunner, but that was terrible.
Austin Theory and Pat McAfee took good ones. So.
Oh God, Austin like up and over the top rope off of that thing.
That was Scott Hall, WrestleMania 18-esque.
Yes, I enjoyed that. But yeah,
Pat McAfee with the beers coming out of his mouth. So
yep, that was
McAfee's
great.
good, man. I like Pat McAfee. He's athletic in the ring. He's good.
He shocked me. I
good.
will say I will watch another Pat McAfee match if he has another one.
I didn't watch it live, but when he went against Cole in NXT, I watched the highlights of that match. I'm like, Pat can do some stuff.
Well, see, I didn't watch that, so
yeah, he's
WrestleMania was my first introduction to Pat McAfee in the ring.
Crowd loves him. Crowd loves him.
Oh yeah. Can't get behind Austin Theory though, but Pat McAfee.
Okay, and last question, and we'll start wrapping up. I know we went long, and I apologize to your wife and your family, but what did you think of Stone Cold Kevin Owens match?
That was great.
That was pretty fun.
Austin took bumps that I never saw coming.
It started off slow, and especially the stomps. I'm like, oh God, I don't know if he has it in him anymore.
Yeah,
56 or 7, and then he got more comfortable as the match was going on. And like you said, took some big bumps, took some suplexes or gave one on the stage, and took one outside the ring.
Concrete.
And, he knew he was going to win, but that was fun. And Kevin Owens' star just continues to rise.
Yeah, and I will say one more thing. If the board of directors for WWE listens to this, you guys need to vote right now to never let Vince McMahon inside a wrestling ring unless it's to do a promo for something, and that be it.
Yeah.
1, it was WrestleMania, so I knew Austin was going to come out during Vince's segment. 2, when Austin Theory's music hit and Vince was...
Yeah, he screwed up.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, that gave it away. Because I didn't think Stone Cold. I didn't foresee that coming until he did that. And then I'm like, okay, somebody's coming out.
Yeah. And an interesting thing, I got to give it to the writers. I don't know if this was coincidence or not. Austin's music hit at 3 hours and 16 minutes into the first night of WrestleMania.
Yes, that was perfectly planned if it was planned.
Yeah.
They hit their time.
Yeah. So that was great.
Yep. All in all, still weird to see Cody Rhodes in WWE, but at the end of the day, if that's what truly makes him happy and his family happy, good for him. But it's just still odd because he's supposedly out of all the founders of AEW, led the movement, us against them.
Yeah,
that's one to go.
That's why I kept waiting throughout that match Saturday night. I was like, all right, it's an invasion spot. We're going to see somebody pop up, the Bucks or Kenny or somebody. They're going to attack, and Cody's going to walk out with them. And
Vince would have never done that, Paul. You know that. He would have never done business with Tony Khan, and Tony Khan would have done business with Vince McMahon.
But that doesn't mean that Cody didn't pull one over on Vince.
Not at WrestleMania. No way. No way. Dave Meltzer, as much crap as he was getting, Meltzer had pretty much everything right.
Yes, he did.
So I wonder if talks did actually break down at one point or not. We'll probably never know because Cody claims there was crazy stuff out there on the internet and he felt bad for his agent. So I don't know.
Bad for his niece. He wasn't at her wedding.
Yeah, she didn't seem to care too much, but yeah.
No, but Dustin's probably a little ticked off and just not going to let it show.
What Dustin, he said when he was leaving AEW, everybody, because he was there one week and the next week he was pretty much gone. He said he had QT and Ricky Starks go in and clean out his locker, and they were supposed to do it quickly and smoothly, and they made a big scene. So they kind of gave away the cover that he was leaving. And then Dustin texted him the next day, and instead of saying, "Hey, congratulations, bro, love you," he said, "Hey, can I use your locker room now?" Cody said, "Yeah, I guess it's not mine anymore." So yeah, I
love Dustin.
I thought that was pretty funny. So,
but all right, well, I think it's that point in the show that if we go any longer, people are going to hate us. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
we've went a little over an hour 14 now. So this is, I think, probably our longest episode to date.
But hey, you know what? Lots to talk about. That's what happens when you've got a great week of wrestling.
Amen
or
to that.
week and a half.
Amen to that.
So with that, be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media. You'll be able to see this pretty little boy on all of our social media pages. It is up there now. Give it a like, give it a share, spread the word of the new Kicking Out Podcast Predictions Championship belt as I continue to hold it. But you follow us at Kicking Out Pod and listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. If that happens to be Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star review. That'll help us grow and climb the rankings till we are
one step at a time. We're not trying to go the top 5 right now or anything. Just one step at a time. We got a long.
We want to be in the top 100.
We got a long climb to go. Just one step at a time. We appreciate the support.
Yes, put us in the top 100. How about that?
Okay, that's.
I don't know where we're at on Apple Podcasts, so I haven't looked.
Show up, Paul. We don't even show up.
So put us in the top 500.
Maybe. Yeah.
And be sure to follow Tanner Lee at Tanner Lee 92 on all social media. Follow myself at Paul Zartman 921 on all social media. And don't forget to check out our 2 merchandise stores, the exclusive ones on Pro Wrestling Tees and our new Teesprings store that is up in the link in the description of all of our social media. Yeah, drew a blank there, so I went Danhausen for a minute. And with that, for Tanner Lee, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.
Oh, yeah.